All right, lads. You can probably tell that I got a new haircut, and you might be thinking, why the fuck did he get that haircut? Well, the answer is simple. You see, when you have a vision so strong and so clear about what your future potential heightened, enlightened version of yourself is, I have this hyper sense of literally down to everything, specifically the way I talk, the way I act, my mannerisms, my body language, how I dress. And you could think, let's wait till the success comes. Let's wait until I'm rich. Let's wait until I have those things. Then I'll start getting that haircut and the clothes and everything. But the answer is, you're overcomplicating it, because to align with that, eventually, somewhere before then, you're going to have to start already doing those actions. So I try to embody that. And specifically this haircut, I was rocking the mullet for a while and the long fluffy hair. And after a while, I kind of realized everyone around me sort of started to copy it. And I didn't really like that. I was flattered, but at the same time, I was more or less kind of like, okay, well, how can I actually separate myself from the average dude my age? And I thought, I'm going to do something most people my age don't do. I'm going to get a timeless, classical haircut, because part of my vision is to just be, traditional, classical, if you will. None of this modern garbage where men are betas and have fluffy, feminine, long hair. Like, I just want a masculine, short, timeless, handsome devil kind of haircut. So anyways, that's why I got the haircut, just so you wondering. But boys, we are nearing the end of summer, and we are entering a new timeline where the weather's getting colder, the days are getting shorter. Motorcycles loud. But, what I kind of wanted to make this video about is, it's okay to be different. It's okay to have your uniqueness about you, like I said with the haircut. But I kind of wanted to talk about what it means to separate yourself as a man in this era. And you see, whatever you may be going through, you're probably conforming to other people and allowing other people's thoughts and what they believe to be true into your own collective consciousness in your head. And then subsequently, right, you're going to try to fit in. And I had this experience in college. So I only went to college for one semester, and I always knew that school wasn't for me. Always knew that since I was very, very young. I always hated school, never paid attention, always cheated on everything. Still got good grades because I just outsmarted it. But I knew it was bullshit, and I was trying to make my parents happy because that's what they wanted, and that's all they knew at the time. And, I know I'm very anti-college, but for this channel specifically, I'm talking to the people that are like me, right? And so if you're in college, you're doing your thing. One of my best friends is in college and he's killing it, but that matches his vision. You can still make a shit ton of money when you go to college. I'm not saying that. I'm saying for me personally, and the people that I'm talking to on this channel that are subscribed, they want more than that. Their brain is just simply different. They're that 1% of people who don't think like the rest, who don't want to be told what to do. And when I was in college, I had a lot of fun, and that was the problem. I had way too much fun, and it caught up to me very quickly. And I sort of realized very quickly, started to put together about how people wear masks and how to easily see through those certain masks. So people will say some things, but then act completely different, but no one's watching, right? Behind your back. And this message goes out to you if you feel maybe that sense of loneliness. That is good. If you're feeling lonely, that means you are on the right path, because everyone else around you is too intimidated by your very presence. Okay? I was never a dick. I was never someone that would go out of my way to be mean to anybody. In fact, quite the opposite. I told myself, and my father told me before I went to college, become friends with everyone. That's his number one lesson. He told me, become friends with everyone. So you know what I did? I put all my biases aside. I said, you know what? I'm just going to be nice to everybody. It's a great habit to have. Great personality trait. Right? And so I don't hate on people just randomly. I was always nice. Which comes into the story later, which is really weird. So I never was talking shit behind anyone's back. I was never going out of my way to make jokes or anything. And I think that actually triggered people even more, because you see, when you're doing something so different, right? Because even when I was in college, I instantly, right off the gate, I didn't know any of my roommates, but I had brought my boxing gloves, my kickboxing stuff. I brought my wrestling banner from high school. I brought my Irish flag. And in a very, very, let's say, liberal, diverse college. So, yeah. And I had a mini fridge. I had all my meal prep. I had, like, the first thing my roommates saw was, you know, I'm locked in, right? Ground beef, eggs, chicken, even in my college dorm. Pots and pans, stuff to cook rice, all that good shit, right? And I say this out of love, is that a lot of them probably felt intimidated after reading a lot of Robert Greene books. If you guys know, you know, 48 Laws of Power, Laws of Human Nature. A lot of people like to buy 48 Laws of Power and then never read it. I know that that's true. But I will say more specifically, Laws of Human Nature, in my opinion, is way better for applicable. Both great books, though. But that's another thing. I had a whole bookcase, this many books in college, of just self-improvement books. And so, you know, naturally, I got into a group of friends with a bunch of people. And these people were cool people. About probably 10, 15 guys. And throughout the span of college, they would kind of see my habits. They would see that, you know, I'm waking up early, get my classes out of the way. I'm going to the gym every day. And some of them I would bring to the gym with me and help train them. It didn't last very long. And so, you know, eventually when you're constantly showing these signs and you're fighting, you're going to MMA practice, you're also hitting the gym, you're also hitting the meals, no excuses. And, you know, I still wanted to have fun. I still wanted to party. And that's the problem, is that my number one mistake that I don't even understand why I would do this ever is I would literally go to the gym for like 1.5, 2 hours of like an actually intense, hard workout. And then just after that, I'd go get some shitty cafeteria food. You know, protein's protein, they say, but then I would instantly go to the bar on a Friday night and get wasted. Okay, not even realizing that your body, like, it would have been better for me just not to work out or eat if I decided to drink. Because you're basically canceling out that workout when you do that. Because your body can't even build muscle after you consume alcohol, even like one drink. It's that serious. So if you're drinking, you need to stop that, okay? Can drink later. We can drink later when we're 40 on a yacht with gars and a fancy drink, you know, or even just every once in a while. But right now, there's no place for it, okay? So eventually, I started putting this together. I was like, I'm not making progress in the gym. I'm going out and getting wasted and hooking up with chicks that, you know, like sometimes I wouldn't even remember who I hooked up with. So it became a problem. So I could fall off this shit straight up. But as I was saying, the more and more I got into it, my self-improvement, and I started saying no to going out, and they saw this. They saw that I wouldn't want to go out, and it got lonely. It got very lonely. So that's why I say college, for me, was a negative feeling. Because eventually it got to the point where, okay, I don't have anything in common with these people, really. If the only thing holding us together is that we go out and get drunk together, which is 99% of college friendships, it's like, I don't want any place with that. And now I met tons of cool people in college who were like-minded with me, and they were just all about the gym, all about their studies. They didn't really party or anything. Some Christian. I had a friend who was Muslim. He taught me about that religion, and very, very disciplined religion, I will say that. So it got to the point, though, where I just felt extremely in the depths of loneliness and hell, because I wasn't fulfilled. I knew I was out of place, and I loved the city I was in. I loved the feeling of freedom, but I really just had to contemplate this idea just every single night of, am I really doing what God put me on this planet to be doing? Because I felt like I was just wasting away slowly. Even though I was, you know, eating my meals, working out, was that the point of me? Just to work out and be a big-ass jack dude in college? No. And that's when I decided to start exactly what I'm starting right now. So that should give you courage. Be different. And people are going to always nitpick and critique you. Say, oh, I don't give a fuck about your dumbass videos or what you're doing. I don't care if you work out. Oh, whatever. I don't care if you can fight, I'll shoot you. Or just stupid shit like that. It's like all of those things they're saying, all of the mannerisms you can tell whenever they're going out and doing stuff without you, not inviting you out, that's okay. That literally means you're on the right path to success. Because it's very, very lonely in the beginning. Extremely. And you're lucky if you find even 2, 3, 4 friends that are exactly like you, that have the same goals and ambitions. So be grateful for those people, truly. And tell them you're appreciative of them. Because it's not very common that you'll find people like that. But at the end of the day, you have to have this idea of, no matter how many people give me shit, no matter how many people cut me off or don't want to hang out with me because what I'm doing is boring and lame, those people were never your real friends in the first place. The only thing you had in common was going and getting drunk, was going to the liquor store, and they wanted something out of you. Everything is transactional. They wanted me to take them places because I was the only one with the car, and then they wouldn't even invite me to the place afterwards. And it comes from this deep, deep insecurity of their own inabilities to do what you're doing, even if you're not being arrogant about it. They still will do this to you. Okay? So what you have to do is discern those people from the good people that you want to keep in your life. My leg's falling asleep, so but what's truly important in your whole self-improvement journey is the ability to not give a fuck. Literally, just to not give a singular fuck what your parents are telling you, your family, your friends. You need to come to the realization that it's like, bro, you're literally just a spirit in your body. And whatever your intuition, your gut feeling is telling you to do is almost always right. So if you're living out of alignment and you're living what people are telling you to do, this could be college for me. And even when every single person is telling you, you know, I don't think you should take that risk. I don't think you should start that business. I don't really know about that. You know, you should stay in college and get a nice job. And that'll be all right. You can get a job and then you can go be a slave for someone else, build someone else's empire. And then you'll meet some girl in college with 30 bodies and you'll meet her at a bar and then you'll, start talking to her and marry her and she'll give you one hand job every other week for the rest of your life, and you'll have to buy prostitutes and be a beta and drink alcohol every night, become an alcoholic. Like, that is so depressing to me. I don't want that life. So it's like, you have to realize you're just a soul of energy, and the only two questions that matter in life is, one, what are your God-given talents? And then two, how are you using those God-given talents to help other people? I'll leave you with that. Anyways, we are going into a transitional period. I hope my words have helped you today. And this next 6 months are going to separate that 1% from the 99%. A lot of people can say they're about this shit, can say whatever they want and think that in their head. They could say, I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Of those people, I can promise you only 1% are going to actually make it. Only 1% are actually going to back up their words with actions and live the lifestyle in alignment with that future self that they have in their mind. Think about Wolf of Wall Street. Think about Conor McGregor. They were all coming from nothing to something to everything. Lock in, boys. This can happen to anybody. Stay strong, stay safe, stay protected. Saint Michael the Archangel is watching you. God bless you all. Lock in.